Oceaneers, it's Liz from Cruising the Magical Seas. I'm on Instagram and TikTok as Cruising the Magical Seas. I'm so excited for this YouTube collaboration. So today we're actually talking about Disney cruises, but without your kids. So yes, it is fun and it is possible for adults to go on adults only cruise on a Disney cruise. So you're able to cruise on a Disney cruise, just you, and have fun. I'm so excited with this collaboration with Disney for Two, and that is Instagram for Disney for Two, which I have the pleasure of collaborating with, and her YouTube channel is Disney for Two as well. So like and subscribe her channel, and then like and subscribe her channel for part one, because we did an interview where I gave the insider tips of, is Disney cruise a worth cruise to go cruising on? And of course it is. So definitely check out Disney for Two. It's the link in the bio, so check in the bio down and like and subscribe. Cruising the Magical Seas at YouTube. Thanks, and we'll splash into magic. Right. Hey, Oceaneers. So welcome back. I'm so excited to have Jessica here from Disney for Two on Instagram, and I'm Cruising the Magical Seas from Instagram as well. So I'm just really excited. Our first part one interview is on Jessica's YouTube channel, Disney for Two, where she's interviewing me behind the scenes about what it's like to be a cast member on Disney Cruise Line. And I'm always so excited for this part two, because this is a collaboration I've been wanting to do, where Jessica and I have both actually cruised Disney Cruise Line as adults only when I haven't been working. Then she's also just done for a vacation as well. So we're going to answer all your questions from our Instagram polls about how to cruise Disney just adults only and adults only with no kids, and just answer all your questions. You have all the information. I'm so excited. So I just want to welcome Jessica. And then where can we find the interview for part one again, just for just kind of give you a social media shout out? What are some of your socials you want to shout out?
We're at Disney for Two. You can follow our YouTube channel and our Instagram.
Yeah, I did, and this is going to be fun. So we're going to just tag team the questions here, and we're going to just kind of go with the adults only information that you guys wanted. So take it away. Let's splash into the magic, Jessica.
Here we go with question number one. Where can I go to escape children on my cruise?
Definitely where you can escape children on your cruise. If you don't want to see kids, it's something definitely you can, if you're on the big ships for Disney Fantasy and the Dream, there's Satellite Falls, there's Adult Quiet Cove, there's the adult bars. And then, what are the age restrictions, and are they enforced, Jessica?
So the age restrictions in the adult only area is 18 and up, but if you want to drink, I think you do have to be 21 in order to do that. But you can be in there as long as you're 18. There's not really like a police around like checking to make sure that you're 18 or over, but I mean, you'd notice if there was a kid there. Sometimes a kid may walk by you, but it's okay. They're only like going to their room for a quick second. But yeah, if you're considered to be an adult, but my travel companion isn't, he or she joined me in the adult only areas.
And they're a minor, there's actually plenty of activities for them. So like the Kids Club on Deck 5, the Teen Club, and the Tween Club. I feel like they could be in the adult area with you, just as long as they're not drinking in it, but like adult apple juice or alcoholic drinks. So, but again, like the adult lounges, they have the adult lounges sometimes on the Disney Cruise Line Navigator app. Look for that. They do have some family events like bingo, or they have like magic shows, or different like dance parties for the family, sometimes in the adult lounge area. So you can check it out. So you'll still be able to enjoy like the adult areas together if you like, when they have the like family events in the adult areas. And then our adults only sun deck areas free to access?
Yeah, they're free to access the sun deck. On the Dream, it's like Satellite Falls is pretty much the sun deck area. There is like a club level area that is secluded, that only if you're staying in like that club level that you can go into. You'll see that, but it's kind of closed off. But that sun deck is free to enjoy. And is, can I spend the day at the spa?
Absolutely, you can spend the day at the spa. You can be there every day. They won't kick you out. They like your money, so you can definitely spend all day in the spa. Just make sure like you have your reservations booked in advance for the spa. So I believe it's like deck 9 and deck 11 forward for the small and big ships with the spa. So just make sure you book those spa treatments in advance.
Yeah, and there's actually, to add to that, the Rainforest Room is a really cool thing to check out. It used to be pretty cheap, but you could get a day pass or a week pass, and it's kind of a cheap way to get a spa experience. You're not getting a massage or anything. But I do love all the massage options you can get in the spa. So it's really cool to check out. I'd say do your research before, but it's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to, yeah, that's something I definitely agree on. Like, yeah, the rainforest, like, spa and the services with the rainforest, that's really cool because they have different themed showers, and then, like, they have the hot bed massage chair. So that's, as Jessica said, like, that's a
Yep.
perfect way. And I feel like, I mean, it's gotten more expensive through the years, but if, like, I feel like if you really want to utilize the spa, like, do the rainforest room because you can do it in an all-day package. So that's a good one to say as well. And then the next question is, do cruise ships have adult-only restaurants?
There are 2 adult-only restaurants, Paulo and Remy. We've actually never eaten there yet, but we do plan to the next cruise. But I hear they're phenomenal, and they're totally worth the charge. It's an upcharge if you want to eat at these adult-only restaurants, but it's kind of a special experience because A, there no kids are allowed, and B, you get to dress up. You get to have a fancy meal, and I just hear it's really neat.
Yeah, and then with what she was saying with Jessica was saying with Paula and Remy, like, so Remy is the $99 upcharge. I've ate at Remy before. It is really good if you like French food, but it is like smaller portions. I'm a big, huge foodie, so I prefer Paulo actually because I like Italian food and it has bigger portions. So maybe that's just me because maybe it's the different two like food cultures and whatnot. I believe Paulo, the upcharge now is like $30 or $35. So for me, like, the best one to have is definitely, I wouldn't say Paulo. And then they also have Paulo and Remy brunches for adults only. I recommend the Paulo brunch for the adults. It's normally on a sea day. I believe that upcharge is like $40. I feel like the Paulo brunch is a lot better than the Remy brunch just because it has like the pizza, and then they do like a little risotto with like the chicken parmesan, and then they do like cinnamon sticky buns, which are my favorite and very dangerous for calories. So if you like cinnamon sticky buns, you can definitely check that out as well. So then we talked about the adult-only restaurants, and then for my question for Jessica, do you have to pay a cover charge at the bar, the club, or the casino?
There's no cover charge, but if you want to play like bingo, there is a charge for that. So there's not like a casino, but if you want to try to win some money, you can go play bingo. However, kids are allowed to go to bingo, so you're not getting that adult-only experience when you're playing bingo. You're getting a family experience, which is pretty fun. We go as adult-only, and we have fun even though there are kids around. And then, of course, you're going to have to pay for your beverages at the bars and whatever you want to get to drink at the nightclub. The next question is, how can I find more about the adult-only areas on the cruise ship?
Ooh. You can definitely find more areas, like how you can find more information about that. I would just say definitely your Disney Cruise Line Navigator app. And then you can also find it also on the Disney Cruise Line Navigator paper as well. And then you can also do like some research. I know there's a lot of Facebook groups out there, and then there's a lot of Facebook groups according to like the sailing dates of when you sail. And I know there's like a lot of things on YouTube you can Google up. Definitely, I would just recommend like the adult swimming areas, and if you like adult apple juice, those are fine too, or the adult lounges. Whenever I just cruise as a guest, just as an adult only, I really just love the Satellite Falls a lot. I could just basically tan and swim there all day. So that's kind of like my big recommendation of where you can find as well. And then my next question is, do I need to pay for drinkable water?
Now, you don't need to pay for water. They have pop and like beverages that you can get on the cruise for free. There's a drinking station, but you can actually bring your own bottled water. I think it's like a 12-pack that you can bring onto the cruise with you. So if you like bottled water, I'd recommend that if you're like driving into the port. You can also buy bottled water on the cruise, but then you're gonna have to pay for it. So I'd recommend either, if you really only like bottled water, bring your own bottled water on the cruise, or just drink from the drinking stations that are available. We have is, how do I keep track of my room card?
Yes, this is a good one. I always get this one every time, especially like when I've just been working as a crew member on Disney Cruise Line. A lot of the guests will always ask me on the first day, like, where do I go to hold like my card and stuff like that? What is an idea? Definitely there's lanyards. I believe the ship shops are opening. Yeah, as Jessica's mentioning here, you can have your lanyards. Like if you cruise more than one cruise, you will get like those Castaway Club lanyard members. A beautiful demonstration there. And then the next question is, so with the lanyard, it's kind of like the next step with that one. How do I find people in my travel party on the ship?
So you can actually, you want to download this before you get on your cruise. It's a Disney Cruise Line Navigator app. And they actually have like an app that you can text the people on the cruise ship. That way you can all be connected. There's also like a Wave phone that you can get as well. But the chat feature on the Disney Cruise Line Navigator app helps you keep in contact with your family members on the cruise as well as other people you meet on the ship. Because if you meet a couple that you like and you want to hang out with them, you can text, I think it's like their room number that you get. But actually what's really weird is the last time we were on the cruise, I was actually getting text messages. So I think that they're now like working with like iMessaging and all of that, that if you have that turned on, you're actually able to receive text without using like Wi-Fi. But I think that was trial.
Yeah.
Now, the next question is, what if I do not like the people at my table for dinner?
Oh my goodness, I get that question a lot. I get that question so many times. So Disney Cruise Line, I feel like it's the best. And when I've cruised with my family, and then when I've cruised in general, like as a guest, and then when I've also seen from in general, we really try to navigate with the parties. Like if you have a big party, like where you have families and kids, Disney really kind of goes according to your travel party status. So it's like if your party is like, you know, just adults only, they're going to partner you up at a table with adults only. If you have family and kids, they will partner up with you, family. I feel like they go with the similar traveling dynamics. If there is people at your assigned dinner table that you absolutely don't want to be dining with or eating with, you always can change that. You just have to talk to your head server or guest services about that.
Yeah, as long as they're available, they'll let you switch. When we went on our first cruise, we were actually seated with amazing couples. We were all celebrating something, and we're all really good friends still to this day. So I definitely recommend trying it out sitting with people, because you meet amazing people and they don't pair you with people that they don't think you're going to get along with. They somehow work their magic and they find people that are just like you. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
You try to accommodate.
Yeah, they're very easy. I don't know how they do it, but like they really work the Disney magic on that. Because and then the next question I had is it says, do I need to pack beach towels?
No, there's more than enough towels. We haven't ran out, especially like at Castaway Cay. They give you towels. So what we did is just like make sure we have a backpack good enough to like keep the towels in that they give you for Castaway Cay, and then you just carry them around that whole day. But I wouldn't say to bring a beach towel.
About that at all. Yeah.
The next question is, how do I get a spot by the pool?
When it's I know sea days are super crowded for like the pool spots, so I would definitely have to say when it's a sea day, if you don't mind getting up a little early, get up a little early when it's a sea day, because sea day everybody's jam-packed at the pool. When it's a port day, I would say that's the best day, is when the ship is actually docked in port, like in a place, because it's the quietest, because everyone's off the cruise ship. So it depends on what you want to do, your family or your adults only cruise, what you guys want to do. So I would definitely say sea day, wake up early and try to nab that spot by the pool when it's crowded. When it's not too crowded, the best part is like when it's port days. So that's something that I would definitely recommend as well. Yeah. And then the next question I had is, it says, can I do laundry on board?
Yeah, you can do laundry on board, but it does cost money. So, I mean, unless you feel like you want to take the time out to do laundry, we don't, just because we want to be on vacation, and we've only done like a 4-night cruise. So we typically overpack and have way more than enough clothes for us. But if you're going on like a longer night cruise, I could see how you'd want to spend money and do a laundry or something. Yeah. The next question is, how much food can I order in the main dining room?
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you asked this, because a lot of guests don't know this, and this is probably like a big insider tip for you to really like listen on big time. You can order as much as you want, and I know this from a personal fact, because I'm a huge foodie. Like I love food so much. Every time like I'm working and if I'm cruising as a guest, like you can order as much as you want. There's no limitation at all. So you can order like 5 or 6 desserts. I think every time I dine and cruise, or when I'm not working and I dine there, I probably like have 3 appetizers, 2 entrees, and I probably have like 3 desserts. So there's no number, and I feel like that's really good with Disney. Like they want you to have a good time. So don't worry about limiting like what you want to eat or whatnot. You're more than welcome to try everything. And then
me too. It's like my favorite part.
Yeah, that is my favorite part actually. And then the next one to like wrap together with that question that Jessica asked me is like, do I have to dress up, Jessica? Like Do I have to dress up for the cruise or for dining or anything?
I mean, me personally, I like to dress up a little bit. It is cruise casual, so you're not like wearing, you know, like your swimsuits. You need to dress up like a little bit nicer than you would. A lot of people like to wear, there's like a dress code, but not like very strict. Now, if you do go to Paulo and Remy, there is a dress code for that, but in the other restaurants, they're more relaxed and everything. But I do say you might want to dress up a little nicer than like your average like day. I always pack like day clothes and then evening clothes.
Yeah.
Now there is one night that is like a formal night. I think on the 3 to 4 night cruises it's optional. And you'll see a lot of people in like tuxedos and dresses, formal dresses and stuff like that. And that's really fun if you want to partake in that. I think on like the 7-night cruises they do have that, and you'll see a lot more people doing it than the 3 to 4 night cruises.
Yeah, and then the next question, I believe, is, do you need, says, what do I do with my passport during my cruise?
We like to keep our passport in the safe, just so you know where it is at all time, and like that way it's not in your stuff, and you're like, oh, where's my passport? Or when you're getting off like the ship to go to
you'll just need your room card to get on and off the ship. That's basically only thing you'll need, so that's like perfect. You don't have to worry about anything, especially if you're making any purchases. You just have your room card. So
now when you are off the ship, it is best to carry it around in case you were like to get like forbid, but like, you know, if you were to get stranded on, say, Nassau, and they left without you, which is a possibility if you didn't do a shore excursion, you do want to have that passport because that's the only way that you can fly home. Yeah, the next question was, do you need your passport to go on the cruise? I think
Yeah, I would say absolutely. And then definitely, if you don't have your passport, I know birth certificates are okay, depending on where the cruise line itinerary is. I think for Caribbean, birth certificates are okay, but like European cruises, I believe you're going to need the passport, just because some European cruises will require, like, we're going to Russia, so then maybe you'll need that passport. Caribbean, you should be fine for a birth certificate, but again, double check furtherhand in advance as well.
Yeah, there's actually on the Disney Cruise Line website, they actually have it listed out where you need a passport to and what you need one for. There's different restrictions for kids versus adults, but I said get a passport. It's easy, it's not that hard, and it's not that expensive. So just get your passport. It's good for 10 years. Bring it with you. It's your like security, basically.
Absolutely. And then what are some packing tips?
Like, I only say pack a day bag because you don't know when your like luggage is going to arrive, because it's kind of like an airport. They've got to sort through everybody's stuff. Sometimes your stuff could be late. So let's just say you wanted to change for dinner and your stuff's not at your room. We've never had this happen, but it could happen. So I would say pack maybe your outfit for dinner, or a change of clothes at least, maybe even a swimsuit in your day bag, and any medication in that day bag, your passport, your ID, anything that you might need that day, pack in your day bag. And then in your main luggage, you know, obviously your clothes, your chargers, if you don't put that in your day bag, bring a camera, sunscreen. An important thing I do say to bring, like, this is probably the most important thing I can say you should do. Make sure you have all of your medication, because you are stuck on the ship. You don't have a pharmacy around. You will need your medication. So make sure you have that before you come.
Like, the biggest thing to also pack is, like, of course, your basic essentials, but the biggest tip that I always tell people is pack like a foldable like duffel bag, just in case if you buy like so much souvenirs or whatnot. And then another one I always tell people to get, I'd recommend getting a passport ID card. That's the biggest thing, and I think that helped me a lot, because in European countries and European itineraries, when we had, of course, like, we had our passport, but then they also like having that passport ID card as well as a backup. So I feel like that was very helpful, just in case, like, if you didn't have your passport with you, they have the passport ID card. But that's a good one to have as a second identification, because depending on your cruise itinerary, it's nice to have 2 or 3 methods of ID, especially if you're doing the European cruises. At least have 3 or 4 like methods of ID. So those are my 2 big ones. To make sure you have like
the next question is, what check-in documents do you need?
Definitely the tech documents you need to be checked in for a cruise terminal. The priority, as we mentioned, definitely your passport and then the information that they have sent you in the mail or through the email. So that's what I've done when I was cruising as a guest. From what I recall, it's been some time now, but if Jessica's going to double check on me, because I know it's like the last time I cruised as a guest, like with Disney, was like 2017 or 18, but I believe at least just bring your passport. Make sure like you bring all your four methods of ID, like a driver's license, passport ID card, or whatnot, and then just make sure you bring your cruise documents of what they sent you in the mail or through the email. Those are always so important. I even print out all my emails that Disney Cruise Line gives me as like a backup too, because sometimes like even though like that information, like sometimes I'll cruise the Disney Cruise Line like last minute, so sometimes I don't get the information in the mail, so I just like also print out the email. So print out the emails that Disney Cruise Line sends you, and then also bring your the stuff that they send you in the mail, which I would recommend because that's just better safe than sorry.
Yep. You want to make sure you have everything, because that way you ensure that you'll get on the cruise if you have all that documentation.
Yeah, definitely. And then I know we talked a little bit earlier, it says what are the areas on board for adults only? And then I'll probably just, if I could tie in the two questions in one, it says what adult activities are offered on board, and then what areas are on board for adults area only. I feel like those two kind of tie in together. So
they definitely do.
Yeah, so I was like, I'll ask you that, like a 2-in-1 question.
So like there's a couple of different areas that are adult only. So on the Dream, that's the only ship that we've been on, but it's called the Quiet Cove, which has like a pool, there's a coffee bar, kind of like Starbucks there, and then a hot tub, and actually it's like a glass bottom, so it's pretty cool, so you can see the ocean underneath you, and then the sun deck, of course, and then you've got the spa and fitness areas, and lounges, lounge chairs, and the sun deck. And then all the bars that are down in the like bottom of the ship, you can go to those bars and night lounges, and those are really fun.
Yeah.
And those like night lounges throughout the day, sometimes we'll have like adult only mixology classes, different wine tastings, and just a different couple of games and activities that you can do throughout the day that are for adults only, just to give you that kind of like adult only vibe and no kids around.
Yeah.
Now I do want to say that Deck 4, there are kids on Deck 4. They're allowed to be there, but honestly, it's one of the most quiet, serene areas to walk. I love it. We love taking a night stroll or a midday stroll, but I love it in the evening too.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
A lot of great place for adults as well. And then to add one more thing, definitely I would say like another big insider tip, a lot of people don't know, the adult lounge areas, and I would say like after 10 o'clock, there's some adult snacks located near the adult bars and the adult lounges. So there's definitely like
over by like that pub.
Yeah, there's like chicken wings, and like they have like hummus and vegetables. Like I remember passing through there, I think many times when I was like as a guest cruising, I was like, I would just you can take the plate and everything like that, and you can actually take it to your room, so it's okay. And like the chicken wings are really good. I think I ran into the chicken wing buffet all the time in the adult area, like maybe at least 2 or 3 times a day. So it's always there. I would say it's like after 10 o'clock they're there. And then they do have like pub food that you could pay for on the, like I believe O'Gill's Pub on the Disney Fantasy and the Disney Magic. You can go to O'Gill's Pub, and I know those are a menu you can pay for the pub food. I'd recommend you don't have to, because after 10 o'clock there's pub food always available for free. So they're still good, the paid version for it, but go to the free one. It's a lot better because, well, free's better. Who likes free? I like free. So
But you can also, which this is a tip too, room service is free, but you do need to remember to tip your cast member that comes up. A lot of people just remember to tip them. They're working really hard for their just to go there. So bring a couple extra dollars. That way you can give them a tip, even though it is free, just to thank them for delivering
you that. And then also and later we'll talk about it, but a big insider tip, the comment card. There are comment cards provided at the end of your cruise. Make sure you write about who are the best crew members that have made your cruise magical, because for myself and other crew members, we really do rely on that as like promotions and things, and it's nice when we hear back, so then we know we're doing a good job, because it's how do we kind of keep giving ourselves feedback if we don't know. So definitely take the time. I always tell people even if you don't tip us, that's the biggest tip ever we can give you. If you can tip us in that way, write a letter. There's paper and pens in your stateroom in the desk area. So please write a letter about us. Like, actually take that time. I always do. That's a big one for me every time I cruise as a guest. Like, even with Disney Cruise Line or not Disney Cruise Line, I always write like maybe 5-page letters worth to every crew member that
Oh, that's a good idea.
because I just feel like it's very helpful, and I know how it feels. So like, that's a big insider tip if you're cruising as adults or non-adults in general. Yeah.
That's a really good idea. Our next question is, what are the adult-only shore excursions that you can do?
Oh, this is a good one. Yeah. So depending on what cruise itinerary you have, you can, I believe, where the port of enter desk is on the small ships on deck 3 midship, and then the big ships, the port of enter desk is on deck 5 midship. The port of enter host, they're happy to accommodate you. They will let you know, like, there's a brochure out there in front of their desk every day of the port. Beforehand, and it labels like, oh, shore excursion, adults only. I would say the best adult shore excursions only for during the Caribbean season. I would definitely say try to do like a snorkeling adults only like shore excursion, or I would say maybe like a food tasting shore excursion. I know Cozumel has some really good ones with like the food and wine and like food and beer like tasting. Those are always good. I always say like the food and alcohol tastings are like, those are the ones that really sell a lot, because I know a lot of people like adult apple juice when they cruise. And then I would say like for the European itineraries, the one shore excursion I can come out and think of is the port of Civitavecchia, which is the port of Rome. Leave your kids with us in the kids club if you are like you wanting your adult only time cruise kind of thing, or if it's just adults only kind of cruise. Definitely spend the whole day with the private, like, all day city tour in Rome, just adults only. And again, like I would say, any city tour for any cruise itinerary with Disney, they do have like specific just city tours just for adults only. I think that's my biggest recommendation, is like the snorkeling only, adults only tour, and I would say like the city tour only as well. But the biggest one I would say, if you are doing the European cruises, definitely do Rome. That's like so romantic, and it's beautiful, and then the ship doesn't leave you. So always book your shore excursions through Disney Cruise Line, because we're not going to leave you. And I think that's really great. Like, you don't have to rush back, or you don't have to worry that we're going to leave you and you have to meet the all aboard time. So always book. Like, I know it's sometimes it could be a little more expensive, but I always tell people it's really worth it, because we're not going to leave you, and you can guarantee that like extra magic will be like every Friday I do like a fun fact Friday on my Instagram page at Cruising the Magical Seas, and I always mention how magical the shore excursions are. They add like extra Disney magic, like the private tour operators that do the shore excursions, they put extra Disney magic into it, and I think that's really cool. So definitely you want to see those like hidden Disney magic that they do. The last one is, what kind of spa services are offered for adults on board? I know we mentioned it earlier. I guess we can go a little bit more in depth. Like, I know you mentioned about the rainforest room. That's a big one that I always recommend to people. It's the cheapest.
Yeah, I was gonna say like no spa services are like free, so you have to keep that in mind too. Like, you're not gonna get a spa service for free. I think what you really need to do before you go on your cruise is to watch a lot of YouTube videos to see what spa experience you want. And also, like, your first day, they're going to have like a, where you can go into the room and they'll like tour. It'll be a spa tour. That way they show
the spa orientation. On the first day.
They'll show you everything that you can do. There's actually one that we really wanted to do, at Castaway Cay. You can do a couples massage in a cabana, and you hear the sound of the ocean. So I think that one would be like, that's on my bucket list of what to do. But there's definitely different price ranges, and I think if you kind of want a cheaper spa experience, definitely do the rainforest room. It's gone up. Like, when I went on my first cruise, it was $18 if you wanted to get a day pass, but now that one day pass is like $40.
Yeah, and then I just forgot, like, when you said Castaway Cay for like the spa treatment for the massage, if I can go back to the previous question just really quick, just to tie in, I forgot the shore excursions on Castaway Cay. When you mentioned the Castaway Cay, and I was like, a lot of shore excursions on Castaway Cay. I don't know if there's any adult ones, but snorkeling is a good one for adults only. Like, I know there's still some kids in that area, but the snorkeling areas, but you could do that. And then you can also do biking around the island. I know biking is really nice. And then there's adult only beach, which I forgot to say. Like, when you mentioned Castaway, I was like, oh wait, yeah, the adult only beach is good. And then for me, like, I'd recommend the adult only beach barbecue. Is for me, it's actually the best barbecue out of all the other barbecue places for Castaway Cay, because the adult only beach barbecue offers way more than the family barbecue places on Castaway Cay. Like there's mahi mahi, there's salmon, so they offer more like the meat selections. If you're a meat eater like me, like I'm a big meat eater and I'm just a big foodie, so they have so in the different fruits that they have. And yeah, so definitely I meant to say that as well. Like there is the adult only beach on Castaway Cay, so you definitely check that out. And then I know they do some like fishing shore excursions where you can like fish for the fish and like deep sea fishing in Castaway Cay as well.
But I think the only, like, at least from what I've seen, I feel like the only, like, adult, besides, like, the adult-only beach, the only adult thing is probably that cabana massage. I think that one's, like, one of the only, like, adult-only things, which I could be wrong. But you can go on their website, and I think you can, like, filter out what's 21 and older. So
and then pretty nice. There's, like, on the adult-only beach, there's, like, I think a bar there as well, too.
Yeah, there is. Yep.
There's one there. And then I know people they rent out their own private cabanas. So you can rent out your own private cabanas. I believe it's $500 last time I checked. But that was when I cruised like 2 or 3 years ago. So that might have gone up. But I mean, if you don't mind slashing out $500, that's still not bad either way if you want to look at it like that. If you really want your adult only like private beach area. And I believe like people from the dining do serve you your food. Like you can order.
I was going to say that. Yeah, I think they bring you food.
Yeah, if you want to shell out the $500, I don't think that's bad if you're looking for like adult quality time. I think that's really worth it if you want, because I've seen other cruise lines shell it out for like at least $1,000 for other ones. So
oh wow,
$500 is like not too bad if you want the adult only cabana experience. So.
Oh, I was going to say too about the spa, going back to that. So for the rainforest room, that's actually how we decided which cruise line we wanted to go on, because if you were on the Disney Dream, they had hot tubs, and then they had a really nice area where you can look out on the ship and you get a really pretty view compared to the other rainforest room on the Magic and the Wonder. Yeah. You didn't have that view. So that's why we decided to do the Dream over the like Magic and the Wonder. The next question we have is, how do I keep...
A lot of people were wondering, how are the adult only areas? How were the adult areas for you and Caleb? Like, what was the best part that you both enjoyed, that you're like, if you could recommend any adult only area for an adult only cruise, you're like, you have to go here all the time and be here all the time and live there, basically? What would that area look like? What's the name of that area?
Honestly, that's why we choose a Disney Cruise Line compared to other cruise ships, because if you go, like, we'll just use like Royal Caribbean, which I've only been on Carnival, so I can't say, but from vlogs that I've watched, it looks like the adult only areas are crowded. The ship is crowded, but on a Disney cruise, you really get this like personal experience where you're alone, like most of the time. Like even if there are adults, like usually in the pool, there's really maybe 2 adults in there at one point in time. So we don't really run into a lot of people, and we like that. We can have this private time together. Yeah. We don't get that on a lot of the other cruises.
Yeah. I'm so glad you said that, because that's so true. It's more intimate because a lot of people are spending time with their family. So it's like, I don't think a lot of people realize it can be an adults only cruise as well.
Right. So like, that's what we think too. It's like, okay, so being an adult only without kids, like, there are families on the cruise, so they're trying to do family activities. So they're in the middle of the day, they're trying to do as many activities with their kids, even though their kids can go to the kids club, but they do want to have that adult family vacation. So they're trying to spend as much time together as they can in the middle of the day. So then we get all of this time alone together without any adults. So we really like it, especially being a younger adult too. But we've met people of all ages, and it's kind of nice to meet people from over, like, in different countries and stuff like that. We met a really cool Canadian couple the last cruise that we went on. I mean, they were 50-something years old, but we still had a good time hanging out with them. And
already in general. So just to kind of wrap up in general for our interview, I want to ask Jessica, what's been the best thing about cruising as an adult only for you and Caleb? I know we mentioned more, but what is like the best advice you can recommend to anybody if someone's very hesitant? They're like, no, I don't want to cruise on a Disney cruise because too many kids or whatever. If we can wrap up, what's the best advice you can convince someone right now? Like, hey, you need to take it because of this reason.
So this is kind of like the whole thing. So first of all, being able to disconnect for a couple of days, like unplug.
Yes.
We don't buy the Wi-Fi package. We want to have time together, have a vacation.
Yes.
And it's nice because we do like to go to Disney, and we are very go, go, go. But We like going on a Disney cruise because we get that alone time. We finally get to kick back and relax, spend as much time as you can relaxing. I'd say there are 2 reasons why we choose Disney. Well, there's actually 3 reasons. Is A, the crew. They go above and beyond for everything.
Yeah, we do.
And then the adult only areas, they're not crowded at all. And then Castaway Cay, that private island, is phenomenal. And the fact that you have a family beach, an adult-only beach, there's 2 family beaches and an adult-only beach, and all of the buffets that you can eat there, your food's included. Where else can you go? So, like, let's just say you go to Nassau for a day. Well, you're going to have to pay and eat lunch if you want to. But if you go to Castaway Cay, you get to go to the beach, do an excursion, and you also get to eat your lunch there for free. So it's a fun place to relax, I think.
Yeah, like, and I definitely agree with what Jessica's saying. Like, for you to get any information out of this, like, Disney Cruise Line, it's not just for families, it's not just for kids. It's for adults as well too. So this adults only edition, like, I hope it gave you an eye opener and gave you an insight of what all this information can be like. So after COVID, when it's safe to cruise again on the magical seas, that this information's for you, and we hope to see you cruise, and that it's okay for adults to cruise. So don't worry about the kids. They won't bother you. They're just with their families, so you can stay away from them. And I just want to have Jessica kind of drop her socials one more time, so then you can reach out to Jessica and I on our socials. So I'll have her do her social shout out, and I'll do it as well.
And I did want to mention, I did find the ears. They are So Magic Mama. So if you want to get these ears, you can get them from So Magic Mama.
Yeah.
I have a cool picture that I put on my Instagram. I'll show you through here really quick. I don't know if you can see it, but it's with Castaway Cay. But my Instagram handle is Disney for 2, and that's also our YouTube channel. We vlog about, like, cruising, and we're going to get more tips and stuff out there. But right now it's been kind of hectic with our work schedules, but you can follow us on YouTube and Instagram.
Yes. All right. And also, again, if you have questions for Jessica and I, again, like Jessica mentioned, you follow her for Disney for 2 on YouTube and Instagram. Also, if you need to reach out to me with any other questions considering this interview from part 1 and part 2, I'm Cruising the Magical Seas on Instagram, and I'm basically the TikTok queen. So if you're on TikTok, I'm a big TikTok expert there as well. So find me there on Cruising the Magical Seas, where I make a lot of comedy jokes about Disney Cruise Line and working on Disney Cruise Line. Again, Oceaners, thanks for joining Jessica and I. Again, she has part 1 of the interview on her YouTube channel, Disney for 2, where I reveal a lot of secrets and behind the scenes of what it's like to be a Disney Cruise Line cast member. So follow that episode first before you follow for this part 2. And again, subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Cruising the Magical Seas. And again, you have to subscribe to Jessica's YouTube channel, which is Disney for 2 as well, because she has a lot of good vlogging stuff. And again, I'm going to get up to par with my tips as well. So I'm excited that we're both doing different tips on here, because it is great to have information about Disney Cruise Line. And Jessica, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you real soon. Thank you, Oceaneers, and you guys have a magical night. Hey Oceaners, thanks for joining me again. I hope you really enjoyed that interview collaboration with Jessica and I. Again, Jessica's on her YouTube channel, Disney for 2. The link is in my bio right now. So again, that's Disney for 2. So Disney and then number 4, and then spell out 2 as well. And her YouTube channel has the like and for part 1, where part 1 is where is the Disney Cruise Worth It interview with me, giving you all the insider Disney cruise tips and tricks of travel tips of Disney cruises. So make sure to like and follow part 1 at Disney for 2 Instagram and her also YouTube channel. Thanks for joining again, Oceaneers. Hope you had an interesting time, and I hope that next time you go on a Disney cruise, it's not just only for families and kids, it's also for adults, and adults can have fun too. So again, subscribe and like to my channel, Cruising for the Magical Seas, and I'm also on Instagram and TikTok. And again, check out Jessica and subscribe to her channel at Disney for 2, and then check out and follow her on Instagram at Disney for 2. Thanks, and we'll see you real soon.